Hey folks, Leonid here, CEO and co-founder of Acclivity. We recently announced the Zilla Data Platform, our new streaming native control plane that brings governance, self-service, and reuse to real-time data. And it does this by turning raw Kafka topics into well-defined, reusable data products in just 4 steps, which I will quickly demo now. So over here, let's start in the Explorer view of the Zilla platform. The platform is already connected to my Kafka cluster, so instantly I get visibility into my brokers, topics, schemas, consumer groups, all of the good stuff that's pertaining to my cluster. The platform works with all versions of Kafka, whether it's open source Apache Kafka, or Amazon MSK, or Confluence, or any of the other Kafkas offered by vendors out there. And once I've explored my Kafka cluster, I'm now ready to start assembling a data product. And a data product is defined by a set of topics, schemas, if available, and metadata, which includes ownership information, documentation, etc. The Zilla platform specifies all of this via async API. And what's neat is that you don't have to write your async API spec from scratch with the Zilla platform. You can actually extract it from a set of topics. So over here, I have an orders async API spec that was extracted from my orders created and products created topics. I also see that there's the relevant schema information for these topics that's reflected here as well. And if you're not using if you don't have schemas, you're not using schema registry, you can actually specify types directly in the spec. And the data product that's based off of this async API spec will then enforce these types at the edge. So you get message validation at the edge without having to run and manage schema registry, which is pretty cool. So once you have an async API spec, to turn it into a data product, you deploy it inside a catalog. And as part of that deployment, you assign a rate limit to it and a security policy. So over here, I took that orders async API spec and I turned it into a orders API data product by deploying it in the demo catalog. I added a rate limit of 1,000 bytes per second and a security policy based on API keys. So once a data product is live, the data product owner invites developers into the platform, and then developers then register their applications to receive an API key and a Bootstrap server URL for a given data product that was shared with them. So here I've registered an orders app to consume and produce to and from this orders API data product. Here's the API key that this order app will use, and here's the Bootstrap server URL that the app will use to reach the data product. So we can test all of this out over here. I'm going to produce a message to this data product. The message is test123, and the data product is going to relay it over the message and have it land in the orders created topic. So there we go. We see that the message was successfully published. I then can use the data product to read this message back. So we'll run this consumer, and we should see the message appear. Here we go. We see the test123 message that we just produced. I ran the produce a few times, so that's why the message is coming up more than once. But we see that the same message that was produced through the data product can be read also back through the same data product. Now, if I try to produce an invalid message, the data product will actually reject it. So over here, I'm going to produce a message, the same message, but I'm going to omit the timestamp, which is expected. And we're going to see that the message was rejected. So there we go. We see that the record has failed. The validation on broker and hence will be rejected. So what's worth noting, though, is that it's not the broker that's rejecting the message. It's actually the data product, because it's proxying connectivity from the client to the broker, to the cluster. And from the client's perspective, though, it feels like it's communicating directly with my cluster, my Kafka cluster, but in fact, it's interfacing to the data product. So that was the Zilla platform. Very quick rundown. If you would like to try it for yourself, please visit our website and request a trial.